Hello friends, welcome to Broad English channel. You are listening the biography of Nelson Mandela. Let's start.
Long ago, in the small village of Mvezo, nestled along the banks of the Mbashe River in South Africa, a boy named Rolihlahla Mandela was born on July 18, 1918. His name, in the Xhosa language, meant pulling the branch of a tree. But no one could have imagined that this boy would one day shake the very foundations of his nation. Belonging to the royal Thembu family, he was destined for leadership, though his path would be carved not through privilege, but through struggle and sacrifice. Mandela grew up in the rural hills of Kunu, herding cattle and listening to stories of his ancestors' bravery and wisdom. After his father's death, young Mandela was adopted by the regent of the Thembu people and taken to live in the royal palace. There he learned about leadership, justice, and the traditions of his people. But as he grew older, he began to see the harsh realities of the world around him, of segregation, inequality, and the suffering of Black South Africans under the cruel system of apartheid. He was the first in his family to attend school, where a teacher gave him the English name Nelson. This seemingly small act was the beginning of his long journey through a world shaped by colonialism. He studied hard, eventually enrolling at the University of Fort Hare, the only residential university for Black people in South Africa at the time. But when he joined a student protest, he was expelled. Still determined, he moved to Johannesburg and completed his law degree through correspondence, even as he began to feel the pull of political activism. In Johannesburg, Mandela's eyes were opened wider. He saw the deep injustices faced by Black South Africans and could not look away. Alongside friends and fellow activists, he helped found the African National Congress Youth League in 1944, believing that peaceful protest alone was not enough. He married Evelyn Mace and began his legal career, defending those who had no voice. Yet, the fight for justice was never far from his mind, or his actions. As apartheid laws grew harsher, Mandela's resistance deepened. He led marches, spoke passionately at rallies, and was arrested multiple times. The government banned him in the ANC, but he refused to be silenced. He went underground and helped form Umkhonto we Sizwe, the ANC's armed wing, believing armed resistance was now necessary. In 1962, he was captured, tried, and sentenced to life imprisonment. He would spend the next 27 years in prison, most of them on the harsh and lonely Robben Island. Behind bars, Mandela became a symbol of defiance. He worked in a lime quarry by day and studied at night, all while enduring the cold, the hunger, and the isolation. But his spirit remained unbroken. Even from prison, he inspired movements around the world. People chanted his name in protests across continents. He became a global symbol of freedom and hope. Finally, in 1990, the South African government, pressured both internally and internationally, released Nelson Mandela. He walked out of prison with a raised fist and a peaceful heart. He did not call for revenge, but for reconciliation. In 1994, after the country's first multiracial democratic elections, the world watched in awe as Mandela became South Africa's first Black president. The nation that once locked him away now looked to him to lead. As president, Mandela brought together enemies, forged a new constitution, and established the Truth and Reconciliation Commission to help heal the wounds of the past. He served only one term, choosing peace over power, and stepped away with dignity. But his journey didn't end there. He continued to advocate for peace, education, and human rights until the end of his life. On December 5th, 2013, Nelson Mandela passed away at the age of 95. The world mourned, but also celebrated the life of a man who transformed pain into power and hatred into healing. His story remains not just South Africa's, but the world's. A story of courage, forgiveness, and the enduring power of one voice to change the course of history. And so the journey of Nelson Mandela, a man who endured prison walls to open the gates of freedom, remains etched in history, not just as a leader, but as a light of humanity. His legacy lives on in every voice that speaks for justice and peace. Thank you for watching this tribute to Nelson Mandela. If you were inspired by his story, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more such stories of courage and change.